Well, howdy do, folks. As many of you probably already know because you saw the post, we lost Bltch Kitty this week. Well, I guess it was last week, because it was she'd gotten to a point where I think all of her teeth were gone, and even eating canned food made her mouth bleed. She'd been losing weight for a while. It was really scraggy. She'd go and clean herself and she would bleed all over her fur, and it was like the last 8 or 10 days it had just gotten like she went from just being crusty and still having all the spunk in the world and running up and down the goat trail and what have you with me, but just being gross, because she wasn't, I didn't realize what the problem was. It was making her be that gross. Goes my neighbor. Seems like a cool cat. On these days when it's not 10 degrees outside, maybe I'll invite him and his wife over for a barbecue. Anyway, I'm just like the last 8 or 10 days, it had gotten to the point where she couldn't even hardly eat. And I think it was Saturday morning. She tried to eat a little bit. Looked like she barfed it back up on the back porch, and then proceeded to come around to the front of the house. She sounded like a crying baby. It was heartbreaking, but by the time I got done doing what I was doing and go to open the door, she was gone. And then she didn't come back Saturday night, and as cold as it was on Saturday night, and then leading into the rain that we had on Sunday, there's no possible way. This is Monday afternoon at like 3 o'clock. There's no possible way she's still with us. She's been gone for 3 days now. So I went outside earlier today and I saw Walter laying on the bridge where she used to lay, and for a second I almost thought it was her. Kind of made my heart skip a beat a little bit. Anyway, I spent about an hour. Well, we're expecting more weather to come, like next Monday, so now is the time to start getting prepared for that. And I made a run to Kentucky this morning once the window on my truck dried out enough, because my white truck doesn't have a defroster, and I don't drive the black truck on the highway because it's obnoxious. Anyway, I made a trip down to Kentucky today to get some stuff and come back up. Spent about an hour just trying to clean the creek out so that the water flows, because at one point when it was flowing, I want to say it was yesterday, because I put that video up last night, so yeah, yesterday morning, right after a torrential downpour on top of 6 inches of snow, when it was 40 degrees outside, the creek had actually breached its banks and was flowing up in the rocks that were there. So in an effort to keep it from flooding like it did to put the gravel down where my can is at, I'm just trying to keep it cleaned out. I did that today. That'll be a process I'll have to keep on top of. Every time we get a good rain, I'm going to have to go and clean it out and clean it out and clean it out, because it's just washing leaves, and then anyway. I don't know exactly where my head is at this week with filming anything. I know you will at least get this video from me. And the 3 I did over the weekend. I don't know, man, my head's just not with it this week. We'll see. You know, it's not like I'm going to set the tripod up and have you watch me vacuum, or watch me fold laundry. And it's, you've only got a very small window of time when, like, as you can see, the sun's on my face. The sun is only on the yard here for about 4 hours out of the day, so I've only got about 4 hours worth of outdoor time, and then the rest of the stuff is literally just catching up on housework and washing dishes and things like that. So we'll see what I get into this week. Hopefully not trouble. And I miss my kitty. I'm actually more broken up about her being gone than I was about getting rid of that godforsaken dog that we had. I'm not done with the dog, but right now it's not the time to do it. Perhaps I find a puppy in the spring or something, so that I can train it and it doesn't have bad habits. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next clip. A little out of breath. Been chasing this guy around for the last 45 minutes before I finally got him locked in here. He's and I realize that Brownie, it's one of those you reap what you sow things. But now that he's gotten big enough to defend himself, he's not allowing them to eat. So I was going to try to move him over to the other yard, but I'm just going to lock him in here for now until they're done eating, so that they can at least eat something. This little guy, man, I've had him, I don't know, 6 months now. I still can't get within 3 feet of the guy without him freaking out. And like, I'm not trying to cause undue stress to this guy, but he's being a dick. How you doing? Huh? Did you get your food? Brownie's been picking on him since the day he got here, and now he's big enough. And oh, that's cool. You're gonna stand up and poop at the same time. That's pretty hardcore. You're in jail. Time out for now. All right, it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. I figured this dog would have learned its lesson. No, I'm not going to kill a dog. I'm going to scare a dog who's bothering my goats. This is his second strike. 3 strikes and you're out. It's been about 6-7 months since I had to deal with this animal. I know where he lives. The guy who owns him is not very friendly. Like, you try to say hi to the guy and he doesn't even acknowledge that you exist. Which is cool. You know. Anyway, let you know if I catch up with him. Just walking up and down hills, shit's for the birds. Too old. I just cleaned all this shit up, like, middle of August. This whole area. I'm so sick of the fucking people around here. It was garbage. And this is literally like somebody threw a whole bag of household trash out here. I need to put a game camera out here at some point and see if I can't figure out who's throwing their fucking garbage down the side of my hill here. Because I'm getting really tired of this, man. Like, tired of the trash to the point where I'm ready to fucking sell the house and move somewhere else. Because it's never ending. I could walk up and down this piece of road that I own right here. You know, they're down and then up the side of that hill. But this hillside right here, I could walk up and down the side of this road and this hillside every single day. And this isn't even like it's a high traffic area. I mean, I literally had all this shit cleaned up. I don't make it up this far very often. So I'm still trying to work my way to it on the floor of the forest. This is not a very forgiving hillside if you slip and fall. This is out of Wi-Fi range and there's no cell phone service here. And I'm out here by myself during the day. I'm not trying to get hurt. Alright, so the guy that owns that barn, well, the son of the guy that owns that barn, it's got all the junk in it. I bought a toolbox. This truck had a toolbox. You can see it was good and scratched for where the toolbox was. It needs a little bit, Jesus, needs a little bit of cleanup. It's got a little dent in the top, but I just bought that off that guy for 50 bucks to put on the back of this truck to hide that. Perhaps it'll, I gotta figure out some way to polish that thing up before I put it on here, and then I gotta figure out how to attach it without drilling holes. It's neither here nor there, but yeah, not a bad acquisition. And if you're curious why there isn't much content this week, just got a text from the wife over the top. If I don't stay on top of this literally every 2 hours, this tiny little stove burns out. So I've been in a cycle of sitting for 45 minutes at a time getting the fire going, and then sleeping for 2 hours, and then moving firewood, stacking firewood, moving firewood into the house so that the snow melts off of it, and then building fire. And we've got more snow coming this weekend. Yay. Needless to say, I'm exhausted. I also lost a whole day yesterday. I had to drive 92 miles one way, almost to West Virginia, to a dentist who takes our insurance. And I got my teeth cleaned. That's a process I would not recommend to anybody. So, I guess me just yelling at that dog was enough to get it to go away because I couldn't find him. Anyway, I apologize for how short this week's video is. I tried to explain that in the first clip. You know, between not particularly sleeping and the kitty dying this week, and then the trip to the dentist. I still feel like my gums are bleeding. You know how that's a thing. I can't remember the last time I had that done, where they'd sit you back in the chair and they'd scrape your teeth with dental tools. Oh. It's like nails on a chalkboard, but it's inside of your head. Anyway, I'm supposed to get another like 3 to 6 inches of snow on Sunday. So I will definitely film that. That 5-minute video that came out on Sunday, The Sounds of Silence, was actually supposed to be part of this video, but my wife convinced me I needed to go ahead and just put it up on Sunday night, even though I'd already put out 2 videos. So that would have been part of this. And I guess she didn't grasp that until it was already uploaded, and I told her that. I'll work on trying to get some content this week. Yeah. Go take a 2-hour nap and wake up and tend to the fire, right? We're gonna have to, well, I went down to town today and got some supplies. I'm gonna have to make another trip, probably the other direction, for a Walmart to pick up a few things tomorrow. So I'm gonna probably end up, I mean, to go to Walmart and back takes 4.5 hours. Because, you know, you're in Walmart for an hour, hour and a half, give or take, and it takes about an hour and a half to get there, about an hour and 15 minutes. It's about a 4-hour trip to go to Walmart. Everything is very time consuming. But, you know, just to make sure that, you know, if we do get 6 inches of snow on Sunday and we're stuck out here for 3 days, we've got everything we need. I went and got generator gas, toilet paper, and a case of beer today, because, well, you can never have too much beer if you can't leave the house, right? I sound like Ricky. I should reiterate, I'm not day drinking, I promise. Oh, I'm not day drinking, I promise. Sometimes I want to, but I don't. It's funny though, man, like, my 2 best buddies, 3 if you count Bubbles, because he's a lost cause. But, you know, Ricky and Bltch Kitty, people that have been a staple in my life longer than I've been married to my wife, with Ricky and Bubbles. And her and I went and got that cat about 4 months before we got married. So we'd had that cat longer than we've been married. It is quite cute, though, now that we have kittens, to see how much my wife actually likes kitties. She was a dog person. Dog person when I met her. She had some cockers for however long Cocker Spaniels live, from the time they were puppies to the time she had to put them down, that were named Amos and Otis. That was before my time, but yeah, she was a dog person. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. Again, apologies for how short it is. I'll catch you in the next one. If something drastic happens between now and then, I'll put something else out. But anyway, see you back here next week.